Hey guys, welcome to a new video. This one's a little different. I decided to go about it a different way. I really just want to share some of my story with you, and I specially borrowed my neighbor's microphone to do this. I kind of should have recorded this earlier in the day because there's a club next door and it's just blasting music. I turned my gain really low, so hopefully don't have to hear any of that. I just wrote down a couple of the things I want to talk about today. Really I just want to share the story of how I found photography. Okay, so I'm gonna take it to the very beginning. Growing up, I was the last born in a huge family. There's about 8 of us, 9, 10, I don't remember. Yeah, it's a whole lot of people in the family. We all lived in one house. Had my mom and dad growing up until I was 8 years old. That's when my biological dad passed away. I didn't really understand the detriment of that happening in my life until later on. But essentially I had a really comfortable upbringing. My mom was very busy. We had a couple businesses. Just generally I'd see her all the time, you know what I mean? But she'd really just be coming in to be like, hey, what's going on at school? Are you good? I went to a really good private school for primary school. Shout out to all my alumni if you're watching this right now. And I didn't really fit in, I'm not gonna lie. No one wanted to hang out with me or just be friends with me from 3rd grade essentially. But I did have my own clique. We grew up together. I had a best friend, and I really just spent my childhood riding bikes and just going through life, just a regular kid. I remember seeing my brother bring plenty of different iPhones, and because he used to jailbreak iPhones and unlock iCloud on iPhones for people and stuff like that. So one of my older brothers would do that, and we played lots of video games. I'm rather quite tech savvy. Also the fact that we own an internet cafe as a family, that also just adds to that. So that's really my upbringing, In high school, I met my best friend, my now best friend. His name is Patrick. And me and Patrick, I don't know why he's never been on the channel, but he's just been in the background of some videos and stuff. But essentially, Patrick had a computer at home, and I didn't have a computer. I'd had consoles way before, game consoles, but I didn't have them in high school. And I couldn't convince my mom to get me one or ask her or whatever. She would just tell me focus on school because you already know black families, Oh, by the way, I was terrible in school, just so you know. And my teachers in high school as well used to always say, Jeremy is very, 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 very smart, but he only excels at the things he wants to focus on. So that essentially means if I wanted to focus on a specific thing, then I would do really good at it. For example, the computers, or just tech in general, you know what I mean? If I want to learn that, it's so easy for me. But I just didn't invest a lot of time into my books. That's just how I was growing up. Do I regret it? No, not really. I don't think there's anything I could have done about it. I I think it would have just made life a bit more boring for me. I also think like I might be ADHD, but I'm not sure, because I have like a hard time focusing on a single thing. Sometimes I'm quite easily distracted, unless I want to like really concentrate. So I think maybe I needed a medical diagnosis for that, and perhaps I would have gotten the help that I needed, or the teaching methods that I needed. But yeah, I mean, I turned out fine. Yeah. So back to Patrick. Me and Patrick rode bicycles together. We just ride around our town. We lived in like a really good neighborhood, really high class neighborhood. So, you know, you can ride your bicycles around there all day long. Go into the bush, ride your bikes in the bush, you know, sneak into like conservation areas, you know, specifically like the hillside dams. Yeah. We were there before there were fences. You know, we would sneak our bikes in. Eventually they put a fence on it, so yeah, it was kind of harder to sneak your bike in once there was a fence. But yeah, I'd probably be able to sneak in still to this day, honestly. But I'd sleep over at Patrick's a lot, and we'd play video games. We'd play PC games, and we'd just go to the PC shop, like in our town, and we'd hang out with the guy from there, and we'd get video games and we'll play them over the weekend. You know, we played so many fun video games. So my O-level exams came about, and me and Patrick, oh, by the way, we're a couple years apart. So Patrick wrote his O-levels, and then he proceeded to A-level. So I wrote my O-level exams, and I did not do great. I failed a couple core subjects. I think that was it. Yeah. So I think I had like maybe 4 out of 7 subjects, thereabout. And I wanted to supplement and go to A-level, but my mom wouldn't let me, so that was okay. I just had to like redo the year like at school, but then like since it was only like 3 subjects that I needed to do, I enrolled in like it's like extra learning, so you don't spend the whole day at like the school or whatever. Like you would find like a private tutor, and yeah, and that's really where homeschooling began. So yeah, it was within that year when I met my brother's friend. His name is Tinashe Charleston. You can check him out on Instagram. He's really dope. And Tinashe was a photographer. So Tinashe showed me that like how cool the camera was, you know, how cool what a camera could do was, because I always thought that photography was just a bunch of landscapes and, you know, black and white photos and like crazy clarity or whatever, with a crazy amount of clarity. But Tinashe showed me that you could really like push super beautiful art with photography. Prior to this, I'd been just using Photoshop with Patrick at his house. I was learning with him, you know. We'd watch tutorials on Flern, Piximperfect, so many. Yeah, I think those were the 2 main channels that we watched actually, Flern and Piximperfect, and the other thing with like the guy who speaks like a robot or something, and his name is Marty. Blue Lightning. Yes, that's what it was called. Blue Lightning TV. Hi, I'm Marty with Blue Lightning TV. But yeah, that's what I did with Patrick. And then when I met Charleston, he showed me like a whole new world, which is photography. And I said to Patrick, Patrick, can you please, if you see a camera shop around, may you please just like show me? Because we live in a small town, you know. I didn't even think there would be a camera shop, but found one and went to it, and I asked how much their cheapest camera was, and it was a Sony Alpha 100 camera. So it's a Sony A100, and I bought the camera. It was a long road to buying the camera. I didn't make any money. I couldn't get a job, so I started saving for it. When I was going to my extra lessons, I would take, because it's like $1 to go and come back. It's a $1 to go to town and come back from town, because I went to school in town. So what I'd do is I'd keep my dollar and I'd walk to the place, and then I'd ask for another $1, like when I get to the shop in town, like the family shop, the family business, I'd ask for another $1 to like go home, and I'd take that $1, so I'd have $2 at the end of the day. And I did that quite a bit, and I racked up quite some change from that. And I'd always like take, at the end of the week, if I made $10, I'd take my $10, take it to the camera shop, put it there, and the lady would give me a receipt. And I wasn't so good at saving, so like those receipts were kind of like a form of should I say affirmation in a way, like they were like a progress report, you know, because I'd store them all in a jar, and then like I'd look at all the receipts, you know, and I'd look at how much I've paid, and realize that I was getting closer and closer to my goal. I eventually asked my sister to finish off the payment for me. It was like $20 left. Shout out to you, Tapiwa. And she did. And then, yeah, I really just started focusing a lot on photography. I wrote my exams and I passed all my subjects. My family wanted me to proceed to A-level, so that's what I did. It was so much pressure because I didn't know what I wanted to be in this world. Thought I wanted to do IT or computer science, but at the same time, I didn't feel that was, I felt that was what I was going to do, but I just said it because I'd grown up around computers, so it just felt like the natural way to go, if that makes sense. Yeah, so by this time I was dating a girl, and she was also in A-level, but she was like a higher class than me because she didn't fail. So yeah, I mean, we'd hang out and just yeah, you know, technically my first girlfriend, like I'd like to say my first real girlfriend. Yeah, and we'd hang out at the shop, and we would just talk about dreams and life, and you know, what we wanted for ourselves, you know. And I remember her coming to me one day and saying to me, "Hey, I got you a photography client." I was like, "Really?" She's like, "Yeah." And it was some girls from her school, and I'd been practicing my photography because like I'd been practicing shooting in manual, watching tutorials day and night, you know, and the prior knowledge I had in Photoshop kind of it already like gave me like an advantage in a way, because I'd been using Photoshop for at least 5 years at this point, about. So I had the photo shoot, and I'd always told my best friend that I'd take him out for chicken takeouts when I got my very first photo shoot. So we did the photo shoot. I got paid $20 which was the standard rate in Zimbabwe for photography at that time. And I bought him and my girlfriend like it was a basic meal. Honestly, it was like the basic chicken meal. And that was my first ever photo shoot. I don't know where we are now, 17 minutes, but let me know if you enjoyed this story. I just thought I'd open up on a bit about my life and just tell a story, you know. I am going to probably be making more talking head videos, but I won't move away from the content we've been making. You know, I'm just going to be making this just to give insight on my story, because you're always seeing me outside shooting, but you never really know like what it is that made me. We can talk about anything, honestly. Just comment or something, struggles I had, like, you know, convincing my family I wanted to be a professional photographer, how I ended up convincing them. It was really hard, but I did. And I make a living off of taking photos and making videos, and I don't even leave the house that much. Hope you guys enjoyed that. And I think I'm gonna end this one here. Thank you for watching, and if you made it this far, please hit the like button and please subscribe. I would really appreciate it if you subscribed. I'm going to be giving away a pair of sneakers at the end of May, so if you would like to be in the running to win those sneakers, they're from my previous video, then make sure to subscribe to me, subscribe to Overkill Kiki, and follow us both on Instagram. I'm Remy Shoots and Andy is Overkill Kiki. So yeah, please have a beautiful day, and honestly, I love you guys. You guys are amazing. Whoever you are watching my video right now, I appreciate you. Never give up on your dream, no matter what it is. It's never too late. It's only late when you die, you know. It's only late when you take your last breath. But until then, saying that it's too late is nonsense. Do your best. Be that person who wants the best for their life and knows that they can achieve whatever they want within their lives. I think it's probably stopped recording at this point. My camera has probably stopped recording video, but that's all I wanted to say, and goodbye.